Hi everyone, Shane R. Monroe here. We're going to start off with Proton 9.0-4, and we're going to do our tests here first. Here are the defaults that we're going to be using. The game set these. I did not change anything, so I installed it. It does everything you need, and if you do that auto detect, it's going to set everything exactly like you see it here anyway. So go ahead and we're going to leave it as is, and both tests are going to be done with this same set of parameters, so everything is fair. Let's get started. All right, my first load is Wyrms Rock Fortress, 68 hours in. Here we are with Proton, and yeah, you can see we're in the 40s, okay, high 30s. It's not too bad out here. Medium 40s. Boy, it's a whole lot better than it was like in the early days of this, right? In 50s even. Okay, we hit the border there. Let's go back around. Ooh, nice little drop there into the 30s. Yeah, you pull away, you move things around a little bit, and of course the FPS jumps all over the place. Let's finish this out for a few more seconds, and then we'll move to our next scene. All right, next up, the High Hall Courtyard after a rather gruesome battle, 72 hours in. And yeah, this is where you really start seeing some lag, right? Mid-20s, jumping around a little bit, lucky to stay at 30. Get that smoke and fire going on. I mean, again, it's still better than it was when it first came out, that's for sure. But this is where you can really start seeing some hits. We'll let it finish off for a few more seconds, and then we'll move to the next scene. All right, next up, the Highwatch Foundry Control Center. This is kind of a small area. I thought it might be good to get sort of a small inside area. You can see we're holding actually 50, 60, sure. Yeah, these smaller areas. You see some flickering though. Did you see that with the Proton? Yeah, you're going to probably see that again too. Now, overall, there's not a lot of performance hit here, but it definitely doesn't look as smooth as it could, right? Let this play for just another moment, and then we'll move on to the next scene. Ah, yes, the lower city later in the game, 68 hours in. And this is where you really start seeing some problems, right? Actually, this is a lot better than it was when the game was first released. I know I keep saying that, but when you can drop into the 14s and 15s, you see a nice little traversal stutter there. And yeah, we're staying in the 20s, 30s. It's okay, right? Even some outward facing shots. Look at that. Look at what Proton's up to over here. Oh, look at the pop in. Ouch. That still hasn't popped in yet. Hello. Are you going to pop back in? Man, oh man, I don't remember it ever being that bad. Okay, let's move along here. All right, so next up, we are going to shift ourselves over to the Linux native build, go to compatibility, set it to Linux runtime, whichever one you got there. Okay, and now when you exit there, it's going to want you to do a quick update. The update's very, very short. I was sweating bullets thinking how long it might take, but it was really quick. Let's check it out with Linux native support. All right, so here we are back at Wyrms Rock Fortress. Oh yeah, I mean, we lost our counter, right? Unfortunately, the HUD only works when you're in Proton, and I couldn't find a way to turn it on here. But you will be able to definitely notice the smoothing. Even if you can't tell the frame rate, you can definitely tell it is smoother, and the frame rate is better. In some cases, astronomically so. In other cases, maybe not so much. But let's watch this for just a moment, and then we'll move on to the next scene. All right, now we're back here to the High Hall Courtyard, and we definitely get some improvement here. It may be not a huge improvement, but let's be honest, it's far better than it was under Proton. Nice, smooth, well, mostly smooth. Let's watch this for just another moment or two, and then we'll move on to the next. All right, Steelwatch Foundry. Again, we didn't need a whole lot of help here to begin with because overall it was pretty smooth, but you can tell that it's smoother. Even if the frame rate's not super high or higher, at least you can tell that this thing's smoothed up a little bit. And honestly, this is a welcome improvement. Let's watch this for another moment, then we'll move on to the next scene. Ah, yes, the lower city. And here's where we definitely see some improvement. I mean, this is supposed to be the worst part of the game. Anytime that I show off performance on this game in the past with different patches, this is always the area that I show because this used to be the worst possible area to be in, aside from some very heavy battles with a lot of organic spells and stuff. But yeah, look at this. I mean, definitely an improvement. Nobody can tell you different. This is a welcome improvement from Larian. Another moment here, and then we're going to do some side-by-sides. All right, our first side-by-side here. I do apologize. These don't line up well, but I think they're good enough to illustrate the point. And move on to the next scene. Here we go. And our next scene. And last but not least, our lower city side by side. And yeah, there you have it. Well, listen, I hope you enjoyed this. Getting this put together was a little bit longer of an endeavor than I planned to. But listen, if you like what we're doing, you want to support us, like, subscribe, hit the bell. You guys know what to do. Leave a comment down below. Do you see the difference? Because I certainly see the difference. Big thanks to Larian for continuing its support. I'm Shane R. Monroe. Thanks so much for watching. Take care, and we'll see you next time.